Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today. So this is going to be episode 2 of my Royal Journal, and I left you as I was harvesting pictures from one of these books, or it was a different book, and so I have now put together a signature in each of the books, and they're all different sizes. So I kind of use the same paper in each of them. Well, I did use the same paper in each of them. I used an extra sheet in this one. But they are all, and they've got different photo sheets as well. I'm just going to give you a little flick through of what I've done. I can show you the little one, and then maybe the big one, because they're all very much the same. So I've put 10 sheets together. So, and then each journal's got a nice royal picture right on the front. So that's the Queen and Princess Margaret, well, the late Queen and Princess Margaret when they were children. I thought that was very sweet. So that's just tea dyed paper. I've added scrapbook paper that I thought looked a bit vintagey. I've used this, from a stamp album paper, and I've picked out a sheet that at least one of the sheets are sort of related to the UK. They've got 2 bits of original ephemera put in as a page from the sort of right era. They've all got at least 1 page from the original book. And then I've just used some ordinary, I've got quite a lot of one-sided scrapbook paper. Now this is going to get tea dyed eventually, but I was just putting it together for now. And then I'll just brush on some tea later. They've got one of my vintage checks, and then a doily. And then this is vintage, not antique, sort of ledger, but it was more like a cash book, really. That's my other bit of genuine ephemera, some vintage music paper, and then the center of this is this sheet here, which are all the late Queen there. So this was a much bigger sheet, so it was twice the size. I've used the other half in a different one. And then, yeah, then it's just all the same going down the other side. I've used the paper a little bit differently there because it had this image in the middle. Have I used any more? Yeah, so that's the only royal sheets. I think all of them have got 2 royal sheets. So that's basically it. And they're all the same. The bigger one, because the pages are much bigger, I had to, so like on this front sheet, it's been sort of attached to some tea dyed paper, like so, to make that sort of bigger. And I just put a little bit of lace and ribbon down there to match what's on here. I'll cover that up probably. Well, I quite like it, but I probably will. Yeah, so I liked that. And then we've got some scrapbook paper. This was already tea dyed, this stuff, and I really like it. I thought that was quite regal, and I thought it went really well with that. Some more of that stamp album. And yeah, it is much the same. The only thing I'm going to highlight here is something other different that I did. So this is the actual book page from this book, and I stuck on this side a picture. It was, a huge picture, so I stuck it on here because it was a bit boring what was underneath here, and I thought that was a good way of incorporating that picture in there. So that's how I'm sort of adding them. They're either getting stuck to the page or they're getting hinged to a page. This glassine came from one of my the coronation of her dad. Granddad? Dad. Yeah, Dad. So this piece of glassine, it's got got the rusty hinges in it. So this is from 1930, I think. So nice old bit of glassine there. And then on the other side of this tea-dyed paper is where we've hinged. And what we've done here, so I've got an antique ledger here that wasn't filled in, and that's where I've put, there was this lovely, the Queen year by year, and it goes up to 1953. And I just thought that was lovely, so I trimmed it down and then I've stuck it to this sheet. And with this one, I used a glue stick and then some wet glue around the outside. So that's why we've got slight curling. I will be flattening that underneath something heavy. Whereas this one, I just went around the edges in Macalal. So we haven't got any of that bowing, which I think is a better way of doing it. And then we come to this sheet here where I've hinged. Just such a lovely picture there of the Queen and Prince Philip and Charles and Anne. I just really liked it, and it had an equally cute picture on the other side. So yeah, I wanted to use both sides, so I have just attached them there on a hinge. I mean, we miss a little bit of that writing, but I think you know, it was taken at Balmoral. Visit, I don't know, with, oh, probably says the Queen is wearing a 3-button jacket and a tartan kilt. Yeah, I think you can work it out. I think you can look at those +4s. Anyway, so that is just those bits that I wanted to show you. And yeah, and this sheet, I loved this. It's got like the invitation that was in that book, which I thought was very lovely. And then we've got a nice plain sheet there for journaling. So that is sort of, so more or less they're all very much the same like that. So I have gone a bit further on this one. I'm going to show you that in a bit. I thought what we'll do is we'll gather the papers, and because they've all got one signature in, they're all going to have at least 2, if not 3. So I've got to gather some more. Okay, so I've got the papers out. So this is not the scrapbook paper that I'm using, it's just the other papers. So what I have here is I have a sheet of the original book that I've got the covers from, and this is really helpful for cutting some of these to the right size, because that's quite massive. So I use these to help with that process. So I've got some vintage music here. This is my stamp album that I'm using. I've already sort of split the pages in it. I'm not sure how old this book is. It's vintage, but I don't think there's a year on it. But yeah, so yeah, like that. So this is nice. It's got a really nice feel to it, this paper. So I like that. I've got this old cash book. I'm not sure how old it is, but because it's got you know, it's bound this way, I thought it's probably quite old. I've got this, I didn't include this yet, but I am going to. So this is some vintage or antique paper from this book here, memorandum and minutes. So yeah, going to use that. And this is my antique ledger, which is huge, really, really huge. So massive sheet there. So we're going to use these. So I did use this one, so I can just cut this in half more or less, and then I did some folding. So I'm gonna get my guillotine for this, because I just think it'll be easier. What I'm gonna do, put that down like that, stick that through, not rocket science. and stick that on the edge. That's about right. And I'm going to move this. Not convinced that was straight at the top. There we are, it is now. There we go. That is right size. We'll do some foldy over. That's that sheet. And then it's now more or less the right height for that one. I like that. What I'm going to do is take just a little sliver off it, and that'll get rid of that bit there. I'm going to go this way simply because I know that that is straight at the top, and that will now make it the right size. Now, yeah, it would probably be better just to make that 2 sheets. So I'm just going to cut the fold off, and that's a nice, quick, easy way of splitting it. I am going to, so that I just have a flap on one side. Rather than have 2 short ones, we can do it this way and have a longer one on one side. So that's on the edge there. Let's fold it about there. About there. I could measure. Where's the fun in that? So that gives us, that, and then we've got a fold here. Going to fold it over slightly more than it needs to be, because it's just easier. There we go, and then that gives us a nice little flap. Or we can turn it the other way, but that's that one for that one. And then that one's, it's not too short for this one, and I think this could probably go directly in half and it would be the right size. Yes, gets it in. So there we go, that one's got one. We just haven't got it for that one, but they don't have to be identical. So that's cut up one of them. Let's cut up some of this. Now some of it's already folded down. I don't like the way that that is in the middle, so we'll not use that bit. That one's folded down. Is that right for, is that a good size for this? Yeah, it's not bad actually, Jez. Not bad. Would it be better for this one? Yeah, it'd be perfect for that one, Jez. So we'll have that in that one. And then I can do some side flips. Cool, we'll have that for that one. So I like it when I keep it doubled over. There we go. So I can cut this one down to there. Actually, let's do it so the straight bit goes to the top. That's where we want it. If it's not quite right, we can adjust afterwards. I think that, oh, it's pretty spot on, Jess, pretty spot on. So we'll take, what's that? Half an inch, Jez. I'd say that was half an inch. So we'll just take half an inch off. About there. And that should be the right size. Cooking on gas. Love it. Right, so that is how I'm cutting down these different pages. So I'm going to get them all sorted, and then we'll grab some scrapbook paper. Okay, so I have got all the papers in, all the signatures. To make life easier, in the end, I measured each of the book pages and I put a post-it note on the front, so that made it easier, particularly for when I was doing scrapbook paper. Although for this book it's over 14 inches that way, so obviously scrapbook paper is only 12 inches wide, so it was always going to be shorter. And I decided with this signature, with most of them that I've used scrapbook paper on, I've done it so I've got a bit of a pocket on the bottom. Yeah, so like that. So yeah, so they've each got a book page, a music sheet, this might not be the order, one of those stamp books, that leisure, that vintage lined paper, and most of them have got a bit of vintage ledger, antique ledger. And then I've got, for this one, I've cut down a piece of tea-dyed paper, and this is how I add a picture to the front, because I've got plenty of like nice big pictures to go with it. The other ones are a bit smaller, this being the smallest of them all. This sheet actually won't be in it. That's just the one I use for measuring. So I was able to get a really nice full bit of scrapbook paper, and actually we get a nice decent pocket there with that one. And then the others I've sort of cut down. I'm probably going to end up with a little lip of a pocket. I haven't decided, but I probably will on these. And I have got some antique stuff in there, but this one I'll probably end up doing what I did there and getting some tea-dyed paper and sticking a smaller picture on. That's what I think I'm gonna do with that one. So I just thought that I'd show you how I do it in a hinge. I decided to have a look through this book that I bought, and I just think that's just such a lovely picture there. So I took the staples out, and we have got this title page, which is quite good. I think that would be nice as a journal page. And then you've got this quite nice poem, which I thought written by the poet laureate of the time. But then on the back you've got this stuff, which I think it's the whole service throughout here, and which I'm sure would be lovely as a thing on its own if you were interested, but that's not what I want. I quite liked that on the back, as well as having, you know, the family tree. So it's just that bit. So I thought that I could just stick some coffee dyed paper, tea dyed even, on there, and that would be a nice sheet to use. I would have to use it in this particular journal because it wouldn't fit in any of the others. So yeah, but I also want a nice picture like this, but again we're left with that, so this would need to have two tea dyed. Don't want it in the same signature, but that I was going to show you how I attach, so that's not actually allowing that to happen, Jez, is it? No, it's not. Anyway, thought I'd talk you through those. They will appear in the journal. So let's just get out some of the harvested pictures I've got. That's what we're going to go for. So I did some last night. Oh no, I can't seem to find them. Oh, thank you. Oh, I don't know, Jez. So let's get a nice picture from here that I've got a nice big one of. And just give you an idea, because it might be, oh, there's that one. I like that one. That one I've cut out to be on its own. It's already cut out. Oh, and there's that one. Is there anything out? Oh, there's that one. Don't like that one so much. So, shall we have that one? Forgotten what the other one is. Yeah, the other one's Queen with the Crown. It's actually very similar. She's much younger there. Yeah. So I think we might go for that one. Yeah. Might go for that one. Smiling, waving. That's what they're doing it. Yeah. That's the one I'm going for. Sir, stop your waffling and go on with it, woman. So, now I'll show you how we're going to go about it. That belongs with that book, Jess. Don't lose it. So, this book is a bit smaller than this book, and in the other signature I actually cut it down a little bit. But in the other signature I had a picture on the back I wanted. I don't particularly want that particularly. Although it's not, I don't dislike it. So maybe I will. Maybe I will keep it. Because it's just interesting. Some information there about what she's doing. Yeah, I think we'll keep that. Do like them in the tartan. So what I'm going to do is use this little lacy punch that I like. Whew. Getting a bit stiff there, Martha. I think you were just having a moment because you're doing all right now. I'm filming this on Pancake Day, or Shrove Tuesday. And I had pancakes for my lunch. Oh, they were lovely. James made them. Oh, so happy. Do you know, we love pancakes. We have them once a year. What we like. Why do we just have them once a year? Makes no sense when they are so light. Right, I'm just going to trim a smidge off there. I like mine savoury. I know lots of people have like lemon juice and sugar. I don't like lemon juice. Lemons are for slicing in your gin and tonic. That's it. That's it. All right. like that. Yeah, we'll do that. You're a little bit fluffed there, aren't you? But you're fine. Yeah, we'll do that. And I could put a bit of ribbon down there. Got a little bit of gold ribbon, haven't I? I've got a little pot where I put all the bits that I might want to use, and I've got this thin gold ribbon, which I thought would be nice because I bet there's gold in that in there. And I thought that would work nicely. That's what I thought. So let's get this stuck on. So we are going to get my little glue book. I'm going to put glue all the way up here, up the top of this lacy bit. I'm not going to go all the way to where the crease is because I'm not sure that this is going to go all the way to the end of that. I'm going to get a little bit of glue stick. I'm going to go half on and half off. Yeah. And I'm going to put a line of this right along the edge. There we go. And then folding that over. We are then putting this. What I'm doing is I'm going to put her to the edge there. And that way we kind of know it's straight, and then we're going to come over like that. And I have put glue all the way to the end, forgot that, so I have to be careful, and we'll wipe that off. I didn't want glue on that bit. She has gone all the way to the crease, that's okay. And then grab a bit of this, coming down there, cut you off there. Then I'm going to get my fabric glue, and I'm just going to do a little line. Gorgeous. There we go. That'll do nicely. And I think that's a nice front page of a signature. And I quite like that. We can see a little bit of that green underneath. If we open it up, we've got a little bit of blurb there about queenly duties. Yeah, like that. I've still got to add the original ephemera that's going to go in, you know, the documents and some doilies and things, but just wanted to show you sort of how I would be fixing that to it. The other way I would have done it was to stuck this, if I'd have had the full sheet and stuck it, and then if I didn't want to see the back, but that would do nicely that way. And I could put a bit of lace down that side to extend it that side, as I did on this one. On this one, I've put the lace on this side because I stuck that bit on the inside, but I've done it on the outside there. So yeah, just different ways of doing it. So yeah, the other way is to have a smaller one. So I'll just get a page ready to do that with. Okay, so we're going to add this to this signature, and like with this one, I stuck the picture to a piece of tea dyed paper. I used thicker one for this one. I've gone for thinner for this one. Got a little bit of crinkle. I've cut it down to the correct size. It might be a smidge wide, but I think we'll be fine because I had to minus a bit and I haven't, but there we go. So simply, what a lovely picture is that. So I think that will go nice on the front. So got black soot here. I'm going to keep the writing that's on there because I think that's nice. I ruler ripped it, so it's got a bit of the feel of a scrapbook, which is, you know, the sort of scrapbooks you would have kept when you were kids. So as if this was somebody's royal scrapbook, and I'm sure people kept scrapbooks like that and would have kept scrapbooks of this. There we go. I think that'll be nice on the back. I want to put something on the background, so I want a bit of a stencil, which I saw a minute ago. Is it in my little box of goodies? This is my box of things. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. I might do a bit of that at the top. Just a little. Just a little hint of something. Yeah, just something in the background. And we'll have a little bit more. There. And have a little bit there. And then maybe a little bit in the middle. Ready for that to go there. I've got all these like photo mounts and various things. Put them on each corner. Then that looks proper like a that's the wrong way around. It's the wrong way around now, one is. thinking I'm going to change my mind. I think I quite like that idea of having little photo mounts in the corner. Right, if I'm going to do that, they need sticking on. First off, right, so now I'm going to I'm going to glue all around it, so it's going to give it a little bit of extra stability, because this is only thin paper on the other side, and I may put a pocket on the other side. And I've got this stamp here that I thought would look nice and wringle. I'm going to stamp it in soft suede, I think. Eyeballing it for the middle. There. I think that's quite nice and regal. And that will go on the front of this signature nicely. And then I can add a pocket or something there. So yeah, that is how I add, the different ways I add these lovely pictures into the journal. So we've done that one, and we've done that one that we like to see the back. The other way I've done it on this one, I added a picture and I stuck it to a full sheet and created a pocket, and that's how I covered up there. And you could just see peeking through that there's things, but that was my way of getting around that one. So that is how I put the signatures together. I say I've got to add some genuine documents and some doilies. These are the other things that I'm adding to the journals. To the little one I'm making, I thought I'd put in a diary page, because it's a little journal. And these are, you might have seen in one of my hauls, I bought some vintage and antique diaries. So this is from the 50s, so I figured that fits quite well in the time frame. I've got my vintage checks, so I put one of those in each of the signatures. They've all got a doily. I'm hoping that the big one will take this size. I've got a few of these, they're massive, but I think the big one will be able to take it. Some I've coffee dyed, some I haven't. I love this. This was in some Happy Mail, these two, and I think they've got a very sort of vintage look about them. I really like them. I may tea dye these. I may leave them as they are, but that's the other thing. And then some genuine documents. So I'll be looking through my folder of genuine documents and deciding which is going in. That one I think is going to stay in Hoardsville for a while because I love it. But yes, so those are the other things. Now, none of these have colour, so we have to add a little bit of colour because we've only got one sort of scrapbook page in each, so we need a bit more. So that was being added using some scrapbook paper, and I've used this to do some over the page flips and some pockets, and obviously there'll be tags. So if we look here, I've made a pocket there with some scrapbook paper. I haven't made any tags yet, that's going to be a video in itself. And I have done some of these over the page flips, which I really love these, and they're perfect for the hoards of one-sided scrapbook paper I've got. This will be tea dyed on the inside. So simple, and you've got some instant colour, and you can do an altered paper clip to add even more interest. I may or may not do that because I love these little things there. That's one of those doilies that I've put in. Yeah, I did do a full-on spread. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. So we will be making some more tags and utilising some of those lovely images on the tags. And I am going to do some right royal clusters as well. So yeah, so I've gone through and I've kind of picked out papers that would fit nicely, and then covering the book pages with those. So I'm going to do all those sort of things with you over the coming videos, but I just want to show you how I did it. So I'm going to choose this sheet, I think complements that a bit, and we're going over I thought I'd go over this music sheet like so. Now this is too big, so I'm going to have to cut this down. This is 6 by 6, but because this is a small journal, I'm going to have to just cut it down slightly. I think 5 was too much as well. But I'm gonna try, because I think I went down to 4, and actually it could, of course, we save those bits. Yeah, 5 is a smidge too big, so we'll just take another little smidge off. Forgotten how much of a smidge I took. That'll do. That will do, Jess. That will do. And then I just used my corner rounder to round the corners. I think I'm going to have a big coffee dyeing session tomorrow. Tea even. I don't use coffee anymore. And then I just pop that over. Pop that down like that. And that is how I quickly add some colour. And of course I'll be doing the same on the other side, so then you've got lots of colour. And then we've got pockets to add. Obviously we've got pockets there already, but things like this paper here is quite thick enough to have a pocket on. I might not necessarily use my one-sided paper for a pocket. I've got some 8 by 8 as well, because the bigger journals need that. But I just picked out of my stash some nice papers for this. But I'm going to use, I might use some of my double-sided that's a bit heavier for the pockets. Some of these scraps that I've cut off, larger sheets, will make nice pockets. She says look in, and it's like I don't fancy any of them. And I've made pockets before, so it's not going to be anything new that I show you, but I'll just get a sheet. Okay, so I've got this sheet. I think that's quite nice and regal, and I think that will look lovely on that sheet there. Got a bit of blue to go, and it goes nicely with that page there. So I'm just going to cut it down. I'm just thinking, if we want, shall we go about 3-ish? I'm going to cut it down to 3.5. If I did 3, I'd get 2 out of one sheet, wouldn't I? Yeah, let's do that for this small one. And I can go down to 5, I think. And there, and then that folded in. That would be nice. So there we go, 3 by 5. So I can get 2 out of it. I could reverse it and use the other side on this one, because it happens to have quite a nice size print that would work. I'm going to use a scoreboard, because that's how I roll. So I like to do 1/4 inch all the way round. Will work quite nicely, I think. Although I can't see 1/4 on this scoreboard. I ought to go over them really so that they're more visible. There we go. I'm going to come down 1/4. So it's going to be a slightly gusseted pocket, and that way you can stuff lots of things in. So whoever buys the journal, as well as what's already stuffed in it, they can quite easily add their own as well. So we just give them a little fold and a little burnish, and that will be width-wise spot on, height-wise. That's it's a good size for that little one. And so I'll be able to get the other one using the other sheet. So that's cool, economical with your stash. Decide which way's up. I think we'll go that way up. So slit in there to be tucked down and glued, and then these are our sides for the gusset. I took my glasses off, put them back on, and then I can see. There we go. And I'm just going to glue that top down. That gives the top edge a little bit of strength. And then you put the sides in and the flap over the top, and then you have nothing to catch when it's a pocket. So I think if I wasn't trying to be a little bit tight with the paper, I might have made this slightly taller, but not to worry. So I like to just glue those down in place, and then I know my pocket's ready to go in, because that's where I think I want it, but I might change my mind. So I'm not sort of sticking it down yet. I'm not committing. I'll just give it an ink. And I do like to decorate the tops of my pockets. And what I've done down a lot of the edges, did I put them in here? No, you didn't, Jess. You didn't. I'm trying to keep myself organised. One of these little ones work. So down the sort of margins of some of the book pages, I've cut my favourite doodah there. No, Jess, that would be too simple if that was going to fit. So we'll take a longer one. And so I would sort of stick that across there, and that will finish the pocket off very nicely. So I'm going to cut up the centre of that there. And I think it's a little bit too long, so I'm going to chop a bit off this because I want it a little bit shorter. Oh, twisted in an awkward way then, Jez. I've got these on the shelf behind, just so they're handy. And so, find that up there. Poke it out. There's a little bit better. And that's going to be my little trim along the top there. So that is how I'm gonna, that's the last things that I'm adding to the journal. So next time we'll either do some clusters or we'll do the tags. And yeah, and there won't be much else left to do with this journal. Well, adding more photos of the royal family ofs. So yeah, so I hope you're joining this process, and I will be back with another episode very, very soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please.